Solid organ transplants are usually making headlines, but there are many, many people who require a tissue donation. And whether you're an athlete who needs a new ACL or someone who requires a skin graft, tissue transplantation is incredibly important within the community. And joining me now is a gentleman who works in that space and can demystify tissue transplantation. Please join me in welcoming MTF Biologics CEO, Joe Iaccarino. Joe, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Lots to talk about, Joe.
Yes.
Very, very cool world that you live in and that you work in each and every day. Your products and technology, they focus on tissue donation.
Yes, they do.
Tell us about that and how MTF actually got started in this space.
So MTF is a processor of human tissue. So we started back in 1987. We're headquartered in Edison, New Jersey, just up the road, down the road from here. We have over 1,400 employees worldwide, so we're a global company.
Very cool.
We distribute tissue in 50 countries, and we're very proud of that. And from a perspective of where our tissues are used, you can use them across surgery. So starting with orthopedic surgery, you can use them in spine surgery, you can use them in trauma surgery. We have tissues that are used in sports medicine surgery. For ACL repair, many folks know about, or you've torn your ACL. And if you've torn your ACL, very typically you will get an allograft from MTF to have your activities back, your sports back. We have skin repair and skin recovery, where we process tissue for burn victims and for breast reconstruction after mastectomy. And lately we've been involved in placenta and using the amnion for wound healing. So there's lots of different ways that our tissues can be used in a myriad of surgical applications, and we're constantly looking at new ways to use that gift of donation. It starts with the gift of someone giving us their loved one's tissue and us taking care of that and making it available for our recipients.
So a lot of the times we spend talking about the solid organ transplant.
Yes.
But there are many people out there who require tissue donation.
Yes.
There's a high volume of that as well. Can you talk to us about the need that's out there and how MTF is actually working to solve that need?
Sure. Actually, it's much more common than solid organ transplants. Last year, we processed and distributed about 450,000 transplants. Oof. And since our inception, it's been over 9 million transplants. So amazing numbers. And we get that from donors. Typically, it's a donor that's passed away, and their loved one has given us their tissue to use to turn into a transplant. And that's happened over 150,000 times. So an amazing, amazing gift of donation that turns into millions of grafts for people. Again, on an everyday basis, from a spine surgery to a sports medicine surgery across the board.
You wouldn't even think that, one doesn't actually think, when you think of any type of surgery or somebody gets hurt, whatever it is, that MTF is actually in there facilitating.
And many people still don't know. They hear what I do and they say, you can do that? You can take my bone and put it into your bone? Yes, you can. And it's happening probably right now across the world. So it's an amazing opportunity.
And you're based locally.
We're based locally. We're so pleased that the transplant games are here in our home state, where we have probably 750 folks within MTF from New Jersey.
That's amazing. So, and MTF has partnered with the transplant games, and how does MTF's mission align with that of the transplant games?
Yes. So our mission is simple. Our mission is to save and heal lives. And we do that in three ways. One, I talked about honoring that gift of donation and taking their loved one's tissue. The second one is serving patients. And I talked about serving patients across the board, across the need of patients. And the third is advancing science. We have a very strong R&D team with probably 50-ish folks that do lots of work to advance the science, advance biology in surgery. And they're doing that every day and coming up with really technical solutions for the needs that they have out there. We also have grants. We have a grant program where we give unrestricted grants to academic locations, academic institutions, for young scientists, young physicians, to advance science. So when I think about the games and making people aware, it's an awareness of what we do, an awareness that this starts with a donation and it ends with hope and it ends with healing, and it ends with helping people. And coming together and celebrating that is what I think the games is a lot about. And there's families, and there's recipients, and there's fun, and there's a lot of again, celebration of life and celebration of the gifts that we have to offer to everybody.
And some of your employees actually have participated and competed in the games themselves.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So we every year we typically have athletes in the games. This year we have 5 athletes. They come, 3 of them from New Jersey, 1 from Pennsylvania, and 1 from California.
Sweet.
They make up tissue recipients. They make up a donor mom, a donor sister, and a liver transplant recipient. So again, it hits us home, and we know that they're there. We're watching them compete. We're having fun. I was involved in some of the bowling that they did, and we brought some of our team over and watched them bowl, and we bowled with them. So it's a great opportunity to again share in what's happening with not only competition but celebration.
What got you started? What made you say that this is something that I'm going to do?
Yes. So I'll talk about the company starting. The company started in 1987. And it was started by orthopedic oncologists. And unfortunately, there's a bone cancer called osteosarcoma. And it typically affects your long bones, your radius and ulnar humerus, femurs, tibia. And they wanted a supply of tissue, of allograft tissue. So if I were to give human to human, it's called an allograft. If you use your own tissue, it's called an autograft. And if you use a tissue from an animal, it's called a xenograft. So they wanted allografts that were safe that they could use for their patients. They created this foundation where we could have donors and we could have processing, and we can make these grafts happen. That was 1987. We still have a very strong large graft program where we make grafts available for cancer, for trauma. And we have a young patient, a little girl named Dylan, and she had an osteosarcoma in her arm, and we provided a graft for her and her surgeon. And a great procedure. It worked out very nicely. She's a triplet. And she came down to MTF with her 2 sisters. We actually had a team. It was great. We had a team building situation where we got everybody together, and they built bikes. And they built 3 of the same bikes. They gave them to Dylan and her 3 sisters. We celebrated her road to healing. And it's a great inspiration for us. We work hard. There's a lot to do. And it keeps us motivated on what we're there for, and that's for taking care of patients like Dylan.
Incredible. That's super cool. You're an engineer. You're a scientist.
Yes.
But
so let me tell you a story that when I was interviewed for the job, and I was in medical device processing, and someone said, well, we need an engineer to process spinal implants made out of human bone. And I said, Can you repeat that?
I was about to ask you the same thing. Can you repeat that, please?
So I was fascinated then, and to this day I'm fascinated on what the human body can do and how we can use it to help people and to again take the science of healing to the next step.
That's awesome. Thank you for what you do.
Please.
I think it's wonderful to see people pushing the envelope, chasing more, looking for new, innovative ways to help their fellow man.
Yes. One of the things that we do we have lots of different boards, and we have a board called the MBOT, the Medical Board of Trustees, and we gather surgeons from across the country and actually across the world, and we're interested in what they need. What's the next things that they need for their patients, and how can we use our knowledge, our expertise, our technology, and make that happen for them? And it's a great recipe. It's a great mission. A great place to work, and we're thrilled to be able to do what we do.
You work with a very unique group of people.
We do.
I had an opportunity to hang out with a few of you. I want to talk about that and your alter ego. Yeah, some of you don't know this, but I'm going to tell you. Like we said, engineer and scientist by day, rock star by night with the band, the Bonetones.
Bonetones.
So this is a band that's put together with you and your colleagues.
Yes.
And you guys rocked it out during the opening ceremonies that we had on Friday night at American Dream. We had a blast doing that. Tell us about your crew and how you guys actually came to be, because I know that's a story in itself.
It is a story. So I've been with the organization for 24 years. And the first year I was there was only 50 of us, and 50-something of us. and there was a talent show. And I play some jazz piano. And one of my colleagues, Steve Smith, he's a manager in operations. He plays bass, stand-up bass. And I said, why don't we do a couple tunes? And we did it that night. We played a couple tunes. And that was the start of the Bonetones. We played jazz for years. We played at restaurants. We started as a duo. We had a trio. We had a quintet at one point. We played for company gatherings. I played at a wedding of one of our colleagues that got married. So it really has been a great experience. Over the past couple of years, we've kind of transformed into a pop and rock band, which you saw on Friday night. So we're getting younger, and we have to have the music work with how young we feel and what we're doing. So we really have a great time. I think MTF attracts people that are passionate about what they do with their work. And we found some people that are passionate about music, and we're thankful that we can work hard and play hard, have some fun together. We play for our team. We have a multi-shift operation, 3 shifts. We play on each shift at company events. We play some acoustic settings. I keep on talking about we play. It's really not enough. We work.
Oh yeah, I know.
More than we play.
You're actually hard to get a hold of.
Yes. There's a lot going on. It's a large organization, as you said. So many things to do, so many challenges, and again that drive to take care of the people that we need to take care of, and to push science and to push healing. And I look at that as a duty. It's a duty that we've signed up for our donor families to use that tissue in ways to help others, and that keeps us going.
You know, I said you're a rock star by night, but knowing what you do during the day, you're definitely a rock star during the day as well.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
A great team to help me.
For all that you do, for being a partner with the games, and for supporting the way you have, and just being that person that keeps pushing the envelope. You know, it takes a certain type of person to do that, and that's you. And Joe Iaccarino, MTF Biologics, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Looking forward to seeing you and hearing you once again.
We look forward to that.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.